dry every single day. I know your cars are yellow, your streets are yellow, your decks are yellow right now. It would be great to get some rain in here to wash it away. That won't happen until late next week. So, I mean, look, if you've got outdoor activities today, the weather's going to be beautiful, but take that Claritin or Zyrtec or whatever you have to take to get yourself through it. Right now, temperatures feel pretty good outside. It's a little cool in spots. We're at 48 in Alpharetta, 49 in Sandy Springs, and 50 right here in Atlanta. We've got low 50s in Griffin down to Zebulon, Thomaston over to Barnesville as well. And of course, a bit cooler across the North Georgia mountains, down to 37 now in Blue Ridge, 42 in Ellijay, and 41 in Dalton. So why is it cooler this morning? Well, we have a cold front crossing the region. That said, it is a dry front that's crossing, so we're not getting any rain out of that. We are getting fire danger because it's dry and it's a bit breezy out there. So a red flag warning will go into effect at 8 o'clock this morning. It'll stay in effect until 8 p.m. This basically means there is a critical fire danger today. Got to be careful with anything you're doing outside that could spark a fire. Here's what it looks like the next few hours. Again, no problems for us. It's going to be breezy out there, but plenty of sunshine. Highs today in the upper 60s. Caitlin?
Sounds like a beautiful weekend ahead.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. Thousands are expected to join the No Kings protest in downtown Atlanta today. Just one of thousands planned across the country. And Good Day's Kim Leffler has more on what we can expect later today. Hi, Kim. Good morning.
Caitlin, good morning to you. Those protesters will march here around the state capitol later on this morning, and we are expecting a big turnout with over 10,000 people coming out for the last event in October. For the third time since President Donald Trump took office, thousands of people are expected to join the No Kings protests in downtown Atlanta and throughout Metro Atlanta. It follows two other No Kings protests in October and June.
No Kings is about literally no kings. We are in a democratic society. We want to make sure that we remind people how a democracy works.
Organizers say this event aims to speak out against President Trump and his administration, including issues such as immigration and health care.
I know people want to change, but this is just not good.
What's happening in our country is not okay. It's important for us to use the rights that we still have to bring our voices together.
Saturday's protests in downtown Atlanta will begin at the Memorial Drive Greenway for a rally and then end in a march around the state capitol. The ACLU of Georgia says a core principle of the event is nonviolent action. An anti-ICE protest in DeKalb County the same day as the first No Kings events in June saw multiple arrests. The Atlanta Police Department says more officers will be on hand for Saturday's protest. We met several people at the October No Kings event who also came out for the first one in June, determined to make their voices heard.
We got to keep it up. I think this is worth fighting for.
Now, this is all going to get started over at the Memorial Drive Greenway at 10 a.m. Organizers are also holding a press conference here at the state capitol at 9 a.m. We're going to be bringing all of that to you live on Fox Local. Live this morning at the state capitol, Kim Leffler for Good Day Atlanta.
Setting the stage. Thanks, Kim. President Donald Trump has signed an executive action to pay TSA agents. The White House says they're going to be using funds that, quote, have a reasonable and logical nexus to TSA operations for those payments. Some agents could start getting paychecks as early as Monday. This all comes as a bid to end the shutdown and fund the Department of Homeland Security abruptly fell apart in Congress. House Speaker Mike Johnson says he will not move forward with that measure, is now pushing an alternative temporary measure to fund all of DHS. Democrats say they still have questions.
The Republicans are not going to be any part of any effort to reopen our borders or to stop immigration enforcement. This gambit that was done last night is a joke.
Why didn't the president fund TSA from the beginning? Why did he allow for the long lines? Why did he send in ICE?
DHS has been shut down for 6 weeks now, making it the longest partial shutdown in U.S. history.
Is going to release 172 million barrels of oil. The energy secretary says this will be tapped into next week. So once this oil hits the market, it should help stabilize prices, but it's just a temporary fix, Buck.
Some concerning news. The FBI in California putting out a warning that Iran could target somewhere in the state of California with drone attacks. So what do we know at this point about this assessment?
Yeah, that was some concerning news that came out yesterday. I can say that Fox News did review this FBI bulletin that was sent out to local agencies in California. And it's important to note that this information that was included in there was all unverified and unvetted. Now, that might sound odd that the FBI was sending this to local partners without, really strong information, but it's actually very common practice for the FBI to share even preliminary information with local partners just out of an abundance of caution. So all that to say, what the warning entailed is they had some initial threats that Iran was possibly going to launch drones from a boat off the coast of the United States, and they were going to be targeting California. California's Governor Gavin Newsom says there is no imminent threat. It does not appear that this was a credible threat, so people in California can rest easy on that one.
No, certainly good news there. Rebecca Castor live for us this morning in Washington, D.C. Rebecca, thank you. We're going to dig a little bit more deeper into that. Domestic security concerns continue as a new document showed that the Iranians plan to attack on American soil or retaliate on American soil. The FBI issued that alert last month, warning local law enforcement of potential Iranian drone strikes in California. That's according to those reports that Rebecca just mentioned. The confidential alert said Iran planned to conduct a surprise attack on the West Coast, an event of U.S. military action. The FBI said in the report they received information on the potential attack in early February. And Governor Newsom says his Office of Emergency Services is working with authorities to protect the state. He's not aware of any imminent threats, and a threat assessment by the Department of Homeland Security said that while Iran, quote, probably poses a threat of targeted attacks on the U.S., a large-scale physical strike was unlikely. And President Trump said on Wednesday that he was aware of the potential threat.
Investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come. And the war itself is being prosecuted as well as anybody has ever seen, and this is other countries telling me too. Big countries, powerful countries, they said they've never seen anything like it. And they also agree with what I'm doing. They say it's an evil country, and it's been for 47 years that way.
The president went on to say that he is not worried about a possible Iranian attack on U.S. soil. The FBI alert surfaced yesterday as the U.S. and Israelis, the war there and with Iran, reached its 12th day. Speaking of that, President Trump says he plans to finish the job in Iran during remarks at Verst Logistics. That's in Kentucky. Let's take a listen to what he had to say about the war.
We don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right? Over the past 11 days, our military has virtually destroyed Iran. Tough country. Their air force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours. They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment. They don't have anything. Their missiles are down 90%. Their drones are down 85%. We're blowing up the factories where they're made left and right. And frankly, nobody has ever seen anything like it. Nobody's ever seen anything like what you're witnessing now, and that can include the original killing of Soleimani and al-Baghdadi, two of the worst killers in the world that I did, as well as Operation Midnight Hammer, where we totally obliterated Iran's nuclear potential. We obliterated it. They don't have nuclear potential. And then after Midnight Hammer, and then we left, we figured that'll be the end of them for a while. But they started again. That's why we got to finish it, right? We don't want to go back every 2 years. And we did an excursion. You know what an excursion is? We had to take a little trip to get rid of some evil, very evil people. It should have been done. For 47 years, they've been killing our people. 47 years. 47 years. And I can only say this. They were all prepared. They're very strong. You know, they're going to try and take over the whole Middle East. They were going to knock out Israel. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them. They got hit by the American military, they don't know. They're saying, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this.
And this all comes after the Pentagon reported to Congress that the U.S. cost of the war was more than $11.3 billion in just the first 6 days. So let's talk a little bit about the global economic impact of this. Some of the wealthiest nations in the world, they're taking steps to offset growing concerns over the economic impact of the war in Iran. Many agreeing to dip into their oil reserves to stabilize the energy market. Concerns growing over surging oil and gas prices amid this conflict, from small towns in Ohio to cities in Western Germany. To counter the spike, the International Energy Agency announced it will release 400 million barrels of oil from the emergency reserves, the largest in its history, and the U.S. will contribute 172 million barrels from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. The president says the move will help reduce prices as U.S. and Israeli forces continue their bombardment of Iran. The release comes as the Strait of Hormuz, a critical oil route, remains nearly closed, with Iran threatening ships belonging to the U.S., Israel, or their allies in the water have slowed, or mines rather in the water have slowed traffic. Although U.S. forces, they do say they have taken out dozens of Iranian ships capable of laying mines in that area. According to the Energy Department, the U.S. will begin releasing those oil reserves next week.